This show is sponsored by ODYS Global. Make sure that you do sign up and get a free $100 bonus by checking out ODYS Global's Age Domains or Done For You affiliate websites. Hello and welcome to today's podcast where I've got a fellow Glaswegian, Mr. Craig Dewart, who is a local guy to me, guy who is now providing a content writing service, and it's a content writing service with UK writers, not your Filipino or trashy kind of content service as such. Not that I'm saying every content writing service is trashy, but we all know that content writing is something that can be quite hard to get under control and get some decent quality there. So, Craig, thank you very much for coming on today. So, for people, people will not know of you. You don't do regular, speaking events or anything like that. You're obviously a young chap making his way in the world and stuff like that. But can you just give the audience a wee bit of background about what you've done for? Obviously, we don't care about what you've done as a kid, but in your working life, how the hell have you ended up where you are? So give us a wee background of what you.
So I used to DJ and I ran my own club night and I started a website to book venues. When I done that, I found an investor. The startup failed, but that investor had a marketing company in Glasgow and he took me on as an intern. And basically, I just worked my way at the top. I eventually pitched to build an outreach team for a company called Boyd Digital. And at that point, when we done that, the company was booming. It went from like 8 people to about 40 people. So I got a lot of experience scaling teams and a lot of in-house experience. And yeah, I stayed there. Well, I left in mid-2019, went freelance, completely misunderestimated what was required to go freelance. And then kind of went back to building teams, started a link building company at the start of this year, lost all my clients when the pandemic happened, completely pivoted, and somehow we've managed to boom content wise. And yeah, last month we done 500,000 words. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, but we're getting there. And yeah.
It's good to see you're obviously pivoting, and I think, I don't know, I think for me, link building's a saturated market. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry's doing it, and I know people will say the same for content, but to be honest, there's not many people doing amazing content at an affordable price, and I think there's a gap there definitely for people who can do it. It's, for me, over the years, I don't care who you are or what agency you've got, content is always going to be one of the hardest things you can get that's of any kind of reasonable standard while still being able to make profit on it. I know there's amazing content writers that are charging you an arm and a leg, but I think that middle ground is obviously what you're going to try and cover, or you are covering, and it looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen first just to have a wee swatch at your website.
Okay.
Just to show the audience what we've got here. So your business is My Content Pal. I know you've changed your name a couple of times in the process of getting this up and running, but obviously the website's looking good. You can find them on mycontentpal.com, and you can basically see that they provide UK SEO content writing services, and it's also optimized in Surf for SEO. And I think I can't emphasize enough how important not the content, well, the content writing is important, of course it is, but also that it's optimized using a tool like Surf for SEO, which is using data to make sure that content's optimized properly, and it's not just some crazy guy deciding what keywords should go where and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you've got your team there, you've got your testimonials, FAQs, blah, 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 blah. And you've got your about us, your services, and obviously people have got the ability to get a quote, and you've got a client dashboard there. The first thing I want to talk about is your client dashboard, because we know that clients always want some form of reporting or something that's tangible that they can touch. So can you share your screen? It just shows what your client dashboard looks like first.
Sure. Share screen. So we use SPP. So essentially, when you sign up, you'll just see all the different services. You'll be able to see your orders, and you'll be able to communicate with your account manager. So when you join, you'll be assigned to one of 3 teams. Each team's got its own account manager, which will communicate with you and find out your brief so that we can deliver the content that you're looking for. So we'll ask questions like, some of it's quite obvious, but it's good to ask. So we'll ask questions like, what is the purpose of the content? Because it might seem obvious, but some people want to push certain things, or there's certain products that they really want to push, or whatever it is. So we'll just basically ask as many questions as we can to fully understand what you're looking for. And then we will give that to the content writers. And that process is in place just so that we can make you happy pretty much. In terms of doing the content, we've split it up. So we've got a prepper. So the keywords come in, they go to the prepper. That person's trained in SEO, and they will format the page and create the headers in Surfer so that it's optimized for SEO, so that you can get snippets, and they'll also make sure that Surfer is optimized as well, so that we're choosing the right competition. And yeah, basically just setting it up for success for the content writer. Now, after that's done, the content writer will take the brief, look at the Surfer report, write the content, and after that, it will go to an editorial person. So that person is just there to look at the brief that they've been given and look at the work that the content writer's done. They will then verify that it was done correctly. And if it was, it will then come back to you, the client, and yeah, hopefully you're happy with it.
So what's it look like? Well, I don't know if you can show, but so I take it if somebody's ordered, say I was to go on there, right, and I was to take 5 guest posts, and I just want some guest post content there for putting out on other people's websites. So I order my guest post. What do they come back? What does it look like in the dashboard? Is that something you can show us, like what it would look like? So is it easy enough for me to copy and paste, or and stuff like that? That's what I'm basically looking to know. So does someone just then log in there and go, right, copy and paste right onto the website, and it's got the links and everything on there, or how does it work?
Hang on, I'm just logging in a test account. So let's say we go on, you can still see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Let's say we go on order one. I put this coupon on just for this call, but I'll remove it after. You would hit checkout. You go back to the order form. So this will prompt you to basically just fill this out. So you put in your title of the document, you put in the keyword. It'll ask you about the audience. It'll ask you about the purpose of the piece. And really just trying to ask you as many questions as we can so that, we can rate it for success. Some people have specific tones that they want to use, maybe more technical, maybe more conversational. And yeah, this goes straight to the content team. The more detailed the brief, the better, because then we can, we just get more for the content writer, really. So once you've filled this out, you hit review, and then that goes to like a master document, and we manage all the orders and that. And like I've said, it's kind of built in like a conveyor belt system. So you've got the editorial team last, then you've got the content writer, and then you've got the prepper. So there's 3 steps before you get the content.
Interesting. That looks good. And SPP is obviously a dashboard I'm familiar with. So I'm going to wipe your screen off of there for now. So I think obviously the Surfer SEO thing is really important to emphasize on, because obviously what you're using there is data, comparing the results to the top 10 search results, and obviously we can get other keywords in there, other people, the top 10 people, all the subheadings and everything else, and make content rank for a whole bunch of stuff rather than, a handful of keywords. So I think that part's really important. But what I think is also really important is a team of content writers that you've got there. Because obviously the team are the ones that are doing the work. And And people, I've seen in the past people saying, "Yeah, we've got UK content writers," and I've ordered the content, and I've got it back, and I'm like, "There's no fucking way in the world that's from someone from the
Yeah.
UK." And so I think where you're getting your writers from is really important, and you're quite transparent. Well, you're transparent to me, and obviously in your website you're saying they're UK based. So how do you get good quality content writers? Is it the content writers you're hiring are good, or is it the processes, or give us a bit more information of where you're getting these people from?
Well, it's a bit of both.
Mhm.
What, sorry?
I was going to say, if you want to give that information away,
I
don't.
don't mind. Yeah, so it's a bit of both. I think when we started, so in June, I got a really big contract and I wrote like 100,000 to 150,000 words myself. So I was in the trenches, and I'm not a content writer, but I got to experience the pains of a content writer. And that's why we added in like the editorial system and stuff. So it doesn't matter how good the content writer is, they're probably going to be making mistakes, and you need to have a proofing system in place, especially if you're churning stuff out. So we put in a bunch of systems to help, but I would say that we definitely, we've done well with who we've picked up as writers. Our team's quite varied. We've got quite a few people from universities like Oxford. So they're people that are educated at a very high level. They're used to pumping out, I don't know, essays week after week. They're used to doing research, and like I said, they're very well educated. So they've been great. We do have some more experienced writers that are freelancers that have been in the game for 10 years, and they've come in and fell into the team very well. But it's trial and error, really. We've went through a lot of writers, and it's important. It's important to find the right ones, get them in quick, get them out quick. It needs to be the right fit. So one of the things that I'm noticing that I prefer in a writer is one with a bit of personality. Now, I know that sounds a bit weird, but if they've got that personality, they have more fun with the document, and they have more fun writing the content, and that really shows. So when you're getting content back for your readers, you really don't want that to be dry, because if it's dry, your bounce rate will go up. People will just not enjoy the content. Whereas if they do, it's going to grip them some more. They're going to read further down, and they're probably going to convert better for you. So we really put emphasis on finding writers that are creative, maybe a bit humorous, and yeah, we just done our very best to do that. The other thing I'd say is, if I share my screen quickly, I can show you an old model, but we've been developing a grading system. Hang on. So we've been developing this grading system. Now this is like phase 1, so this is very early days, but the other one's got all our writers in it. So essentially it's just a standard grade book, and what we use it for is, at the start of the month, we'll come in and we'll proof writers, and we'll give them a grade, so that what we can do is see where they stand based on the average. Now, this is just an example, it's just dummy data, but let's say that Evie, the person I'm using for this example, she's dipping. We would then intervene, and we would make sure that, well, what's going on? Is it just a one-off? Do we need to check more reports? Where can we help? And that's when we start putting in upskilling. So we spent a lot of time in upskilling, and we've bought a lot of courses. So just show you some of the courses we've bought. You've got like 7-figure copywriting. We've got a course by a guy called Kevin Meng. Now,
podcast actually next week. No, this week we're recording with Kevin on Wednesday.
He's a good guy, and his course is really good. Kevin's, I'd say, the higher end of copywriting, whereas we're quite budget, but we've got a lot of help from him. And yeah, basically it's all about creating copy that sells, and that's what we're all about. We're trying to basically create budget copywriting, but it's a very high quality, and we're constantly upskilling our writers and stuff as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So see, when you say budget, what you talk about the pricing side of things, because that's one of the first things that comes into everyone's head. What does this cost? What are the kind of costs for like 1,000 words, or what is the structure like in terms of being able to order? Is it 500 words? Is it 1,000 words? How does that actually work?
So for 3,000 words, a lot of our content's affiliate guys, so they order 3,000 words, and that's $150. So about 5 cents a word. Now we're looking for the kind of bigger orders, as everyone does, and we're adding in two things. We've got the formatting service, so we'll format your page and we'll upload it for you. A lot of people are after that, and we're also adding in keyword research. So we'll take everything from the start to the finish. But they packages cost a lot more. But as you go up, the content rating comes down in price as well, for the larger orders. But yeah, for 3,000 words, it's $150. We do have a premium service, which is $240. Now that just gets you more revisions, it gets you more research. If you come in, let's say you wanted an article on something health related, where it could have a serious impact on eat or something, or health claims, we would push you towards buying the premium content because it does require more research. We need to look up case studies, we need to look up a bunch of other stuff to ensure that the copy's right, or you could get into trouble pretty much. So things like health, you probably want to go for the premium stuff. It just depends on where you're at. If you came in and bought the normal content, I'll reach out anyway. I'll reach out to everyone and just have a conversation to find out what you're looking for. And then you can talk to the team as well. But as a base rate, yeah, 5 cents a word.
5 cents a word. That's just curious to know how that works out. And what one thing I think is really important, and I don't know if you'll ever integrate this into your system, but you know how you get guys who do a whole bunch of location pages, for example. So somebody might come to you with a niche and say, "Fuck it, I want to blanket the whole of the Scotland." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the main towns and cities for plumbers, let's say. Now, obviously, different areas have different competition levels, so you might be able to rank for something like plumbers Inverness with 200 words. To rank for plumbers in Glasgow, it might be 800 words. To rank for plumbers in Edinburgh, it might be 1,200 words. So, see if you've got different amounts of content that are required, and somebody came to you with that. Surely it wouldn't be sensible to say to somebody, right, you need 1,000 words for everything, because that's going to be
Yeah.
overkill.
No.
So what if somebody came to you with a big order like that and said, listen, man, I need fucking like 75 location pages, and obviously not to be spammy, but I don't want them all to be 1,000 words anyway.
No, you wouldn't anyway. We use Surfer, so we've niched ourselves really well by using Surfer, and Surfer's been great. Now we don't ask for the word count at the start. You can give us that if you want, but we always recommend that we use Surfer. So we will run your keyword through Surfer, and we'll come back to you and say, look, this is suggesting we use 1,500 words. We normally suggest we add 20%, so a bit of buffer room. Now it's up to you if you want that to happen. You can come back and say, no, I want 500 words. We'll go, okay, that's fine. And we'll configure Surfer so that it does that. But yeah, so part of the package is we'll pay for the Surfer credits as well, and run the reports for you. But yeah, we had a client last week who literally wanted, I think it was like 150 cities in the US or towns or whatever, for the directory. And it was like 400 to 1,000 words. It just varied. So what happens is if you buy like 20,000 words, you can split that up as much as you want. It's really up to you, or up to our suggestions. We'll give you suggestions and you make the final decision. And if you look at the dashboard, so you've got like a balance at the top, and that's for just how much money you've got in your account. But we're trying to get another one added so that you can see how much words you've got left, and that will come off as well.
Oh, that makes sense, because I think a lot of the content people, and I think that's where people make a lot of mistakes, is they just blanket say 1,000 words for every area. Do you know what I mean? And it's just either not enough or way too much. So it's a good way of working that you've got there. So I just wanted to clarify that. I didn't know if you had that in your kind of set up there, but good to know that is there. So obviously you've started this out. You're doing well. You're scaling up. You're doing all of that kind of stuff. I want to talk to you a bit about, so if you do really well, say people love this podcast, they go, bloody hell, I need to order 500,000 words for this guy. I've got a big project on the go. How do you scale that? Like, are you going to run out of capacity? Or do you have provisions in place where if 10, just say 10 guys were watching this today and they go, man, I like that guy and I like what he's saying, and that 5 cents is a great price. What would you do if 500,000 words came in? Are you able to cope with that?
Right. So there's two things. The first thing is we're being very cautious with not taking on too much too soon, and then that impacts the quality. So that's why we slowed down this month and we built that grading system so that we can continually see where the quality is. The second thing is we built a new onboarding system. So it's way harder to get on our team now than it was before, but it means that we can bring on a lot of people, test them out really fast, and add to the team as well. So we've been working hard on that this month. We test them on guest post, then once they pass the guest post test, we move them up to affiliate marketing content, and then if they pass that, they get moved into a team. So this month we've split the team up. Before we had one big massive team and there was like 70 writers in it. It was chaotic and I struggled with it, to be fair. I ended up having to take some time out and just go and just take a step back and reflect. But what we've done now is we've added in 3 content managers, split the teams up, so now 3 teams, and that's helped significantly. So each team manager is responsible for their team and certain clients. That's allowed us to scale. So my goal is to hit 1 million words next month. It was to do it this month, but we've had to slow down just to put these systems in place so that we don't piss anybody off. Next year, I want to hit 25 million words over the year, at least. But I think we can scale, and it's about finding the right writers. There's so many writers out there, it's just finding the right ones and making sure they pass that test. But yeah, I'd say we could scale. 500,000 words this month. I don't know if we'd be able to do all that, but we definitely get a fair chunk of it done, and we drip feed it to you as well. And if you were ordering that much, you'd be eligible for the graphic team, so we'll be able to help in other ways, like upload the content. We can be really hands-on. So we've been building out a graphic team where we've got a bunch of VAs that are trained in doing this. And am I sharing my screen?
No. There you go.
So we're using, I don't know if you've seen it, but this is a really good little plugin. Allows you to set up these tables, and they've got lots of templates. So we've been using this with our graphics team, and we're able to set these up pretty fast for you, and really just make your page look great. So we can do that as well. Yeah, I'd say we can scale.
I want to talk to you a bit about the affiliate marketing thing, because obviously a lot of I'm doing a training course on Black Friday, and I train a lot of people in affiliate marketing. And obviously one of those things is, getting an affiliate marketing website. And we all know that, well, it's easier just to outsource as much of that kind of grunt work as you possibly can. And I think even, those small little things that you do, but maybe adding graphics tables and stuff like that to affiliate content is a really good service. Especially for lazy people like me who just can't be bothered doing it. I'd rather just pay you extra and let you do the work, and just log in when you say it's done, and just I'll skim read it and check it out. But I'd rather use guys when I upload it than you. What's the difference in price for something like that?
It depends on the project. So I think just now, it also depends on how much we can take on and scale that graphic team. It's in its early days, so I'll put that caveat in. To give you an example though, we took on a project and the person put in like 50 grand worth of content. So we had to upload and scale all that. So that really put us through, but that allowed us to battle test the project, or the team, sorry. It costs, I think now it costs about £15 a page to get it optimized, but it depends on what you want. So soon on the website, if you come back to the website, you'll be able to see the different types of designs that we can build out. And you might prefer, so I showed you different things there. I showed you the products, I showed you the tables, and I showed you like the pros and cons. You might prefer to only have the table added at the top. So again, that's where it depends on what you want. You also might order a bunch of like how-to articles that don't really need optimization, don't really need tables and stuff added, but they do need uploaded. So it just depends. It would always be a custom quote. We'd look at the job, look at the keywords you've bought, and we would just come to an agreement there. But it would average about £10 to £15 a page. Again, it just depends. It really depends. Which might seem expensive, but a lot of these guys, like you said, they just want hands off, and it takes that stress and pressure away from them. You don't really need to look at anything but their rankings and see them going up. That's literally all you need to do.
Lots of guys that I know that are an affiliate don't do any of the work themselves, and it is completely hands off. It's investment only, so they've got budgets to spend on content, and they really don't give a shit. They don't want to do any work. So I think it's a great option that you've got that available as well. I think that's quite a unique thing. I don't think many content writers go to that length to kind of help their customers. But you mentioned there was a chap that, or whoever it was, that ordered 50 grand worth of content. What in terms of volume does that work out at? Like 50 grand worth of content, that's a million plus words, surely?
It was a lot. I'm just doing the math just now, but it was a lot. And that's kind of how we've managed to grow so quickly. But I'm just doing the math. I think it worked out at, yeah, silly amount. But he was in quite a competitive niche. I'm not going to say the niche, but it's one of the most competitive ones. He wanted copy that converts. One of the things I've not spoke to you about as well is, so that also got like pre-sale pages to really high ticket offers. So those pre-sale pages, we don't offer that as a service yet, but we could do. They are pages that really are written to convert, and they'll take the user from a point of not wanting to buy to they really need to buy it, and they need to buy it now. So he bought a lot of stuff like that. He bought obviously the upload, the keyword research, the weekly client calls with us as well. If you order something like that, we'll be really hands-on. We'll literally become your in-house team at that point, and make sure you get a site that you're after, really.
Tell me how this works though, right? So somebody comes to you, it doesn't have to be 50 grand, say it's 5 grand, 10 grand, it doesn't matter. I want to know how that works. Like, is the content being uploaded as it comes in to your back end dashboard? It's not just all waited until all the content's done and then uploaded, is it? Is it drip fed on? Aye.
It's completely bespoke. So you give us the keywords, and so maybe do like 10, 20 a week, we'll drip feed it on. Depends on how fast you want to go. So if you go on the website just now, you'll see that I think they're just different packages. So for 50,000 words formatting and keyword research, it's like $3,000. But soon we're going to build it out. So there's you can make your own package. You can build it yourself. So we can give people that option to customize. I don't think anyone's doing that. And that was a suggestion I had off of someone else, and I think it's a great idea. I think that's what people are after. But yeah, we'll drip feed it on and make sure that it's formatted, do the internal links, really hands-on with it, just so that you get a site that ranks and that you like. And that guy's site's booming. I could probably find actually there's another site that's doing really well. So soon we'll be publishing some of these case studies. Obviously we won't be showing the URL and stuff, but the content works, and it's great. A lot of people go and buy cheap content, and I think when you do that, you often pay twice because you need to get it redone later on down the line. So for me, I think we are the best entry level content you can get. Maybe I'm biased, I don't know.
No, listen, I've been there myself, been there with so many other people as well that, I've either trained or whatever, and they always come back saying, "Hey, share your content writer with me," and I'm like, I've got someone who does my content in-house, like they're a full-time employee. I can't share them with you, they're for me. Yeah. But I think, I've always been scared to use the likes of hire a writer and stuff like that, because the quality is just so poor.
We tried it and it was terrible. It wasn't for us. I would recommend Gumtree over them 100%.
But it's hit or miss. I think the key part about your whole thing is you go to Gumtree and you can get somebody that can write content, but I think the key part is obviously the training and everything that goes on in the background with yours. If you're buying courses or, I don't know what else you're doing, if you're getting Kevin Ming in to talk to your team or whatever goes on there to upskill these people, I think that's what we need. And obviously, you would be really lucky to jump onto Gumtree, ask for a content writer and get somebody that actually knows what they're doing, and, doing the surfer thing and have any kind of real experience in terms of looking at that kind of stuff. So I think, I would never undersell yourself either. Do you know what I mean? Like, of course,
Yeah.
it's slightly more than some buckshy content writing service, but you don't want to be paying twice.
I know.
So,
I think like Surfer as well, though, trying to get people to write in Surfer, that was challenging. Taking people that have never written like that and trying to get them in, following all the keywords at the side. It's pretty hard, and that took a while to get right, especially because obviously how Surfer works, it takes averages. So some of the keywords it spits out you shouldn't use. So we were finding writers were like really forcing keywords and just wasn't on. So that was a challenge at the start, but it took a lot of refinement. I'd say we're pretty good just now. That the bar is really high. It's a shame I don't have any real reports I can show you because they're clients, but what I'll do is I'll get some random ones done so you can really see the quality. But if you reach out and DM me, I can show that.
aye, no, I think obviously you need to be careful in terms of showing clients data, given what you do, and you don't want to be sharing people's niches and all that kind of stuff. You get yourself into a bit of bother. But is there anything else that we've maybe not talked about on here that you want to share or emphasise on?
Not really. We've covered the graphic team, which is in progress. I think that's a big selling point. Obviously, we can do content for pretty much anything. We've worked in pretty much most niches now. Yeah, we can do the keyword research if you need that, or 5 cents a word. Can maybe talk about future training. So we've got the guys training on everything from writing more humorous copy to more persuasive copy. So we're only going to go up, really. We've got everyone books like, I don't know if you can see it, but we've got books from like people like that. Copywriting Secrets is a good book. So we've got all the guys that. We're really just trying to increase the bar, and I think we will be one of the best very soon, especially the most competitive, and the fact that we're optimizing in Surfer. I had a look on, I think it was, what's it called? You can buy tasks on it, but there was someone offering Surfer optimization there for $25 a page. So we're writing the content and optimizing. So I think we can be pretty cost effective. And right now we've got a discount for Black Friday. So I'll give you that code. You can maybe put it in the description. But yeah, it's 10% off as well for your first order for Black Friday. And that lasts till the 1st of December. And yeah, that's it. You get any more questions?
No, I think we've pretty much covered all the basics that I would want to cover. Don't want to go too deep on your stuff. If don't want to be intrusive to the business or intrusive to clients' information. But I think you've covered quite a lot there, and hopefully it all goes well. So if someone wants to order, it's obviously mycontentpal.com.
Yep.
You can get your 10% off for Black Friday, which will be below in the description. I will also add it to my Black Friday SEO deals page if you want, and see if we can get you a bit of traction from that as well, because you might as well get a discount while it's growing. People take as much as you can off of this guy.
The other thing is as well, what we'll do is we'll lock people in at the right rate. So if we do increase the prices, we'll get you locked in at a decent rate. So the sooner you buy, the better it'll be.
So if somebody wants to reach out to you just to talk about this, not place an order, they're just they like what they've heard and stuff like that. So where's the best place to get you? Is it only My Content Pal, or do you have others there?
I'm on Twitter, so I'm on Twitter. My handle's CraigD0412. On Facebook, reach out to me there as well. and they're the best places. I don't really use Skype, but reach out to me and there. We can get a Zoom call and let me know what you're after, and we can try and help.
Top man. Well, good to have you on, mate, and hopefully your content stuff continues to grow, because it's nice to see a local guy growing a wee business there and offering value at the same time. So,
well, thank you for having me. This is the first podcast I've done, so first of many, but thanks, man.
No worries. Been a pleasure.